Congress just passed one of the biggest housing bills in years. The headlines and those elected officials are calling this a massive breakthrough that's going to fix the housing shortage. There's just one problem with all that. Now, that's not my interpretation. That is actually in the text. Washington just passed that massive housing bill and then quietly admitted the real power still sits in the local governments. But before I tear this thing apart, let's give credit where credit is due, because there are two parts of this bill that are actually smart and could actually move the needle. Win number one is rural infill. If you are building affordable housing on an empty lot that is surrounded by roads, sewer, water, and existing development, Washington finally stops pretending you're exploring the Amazon rainforest, because spending 10 grand and waiting a year for federal environmental report to prove an asphalt parking lot in town isn't a protected wetland was completely ridiculous to begin with. Stripping that rule helps rural communities immediately win. Win number two might actually be my favorite. Cities all over America own weird, forgotten pieces of land. Old tax foreclosures, abandoned easements, and odd lots. Bits and pieces nobody even remembers exist. This bill forces cities to publish a searchable database of every piece of public land they own. Why does that matter? Because a local builder can't build a duplex on land that he doesn't know exists. Those are real wins. They clear out stupid federal red tape on day one. But right here is where the story actually changes. Congress tried to take those smart ideas and apply them to construction codes. Look at this hallway. This exact layout is why apartment buildings keep getting more expensive to build. Not just nationally, but in Idaho as well. Nobody lives in it. Nobody rents it. It generates zero income, but a builder still has to pay to build it, heat it, cool it, and light it. But because of decade-old codes, force developers to build two separate stairwells connected by a massive center hallway. So Congress laid out a beautiful new playbook allowing apartment buildings to be built with a single internal staircase instead of the layouts we're used to. It eliminates dead space and slashes construction cost. But remember that catch we talked about a minute ago? Yeah, that's coming back to haunt them. HUD can print this beautiful playbook all day long. But because the text explicitly protects local autonomy until your city council or even my city council here in Twin Falls actually votes to adopt it, it changes absolutely nothing on your street. But let's say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm wrong about it. Let's wave a magic wand and say the federal government could override local laws and every city in Idaho or every city across the United States adopted these modern rules tomorrow morning. Let's say Twin Falls, let's say California, wherever, approved of 500 new building lots tomorrow. Who exactly is building them? Because that's the part nobody wants to actually talk about. The unvarnished truth that nobody in Washington wants to admit is that we cannot build enough homes because we don't have enough bodies qualified to work in the trades. Ask any local builder, whether it's here in the Magic Valley or across the nation, what is slowing projects down right now? And most of them will tell you it's zoning. They will tell you it's labor. If we wanted to build hundreds of new homes next month, we couldn't do it. We are already crucially short on framers, electricians, plumbers, and HVAC crews. The workforce pipeline is empty. And the older generations, well, they're retiring faster than we could replace them. So you can streamline a computer permitting process in 5 minutes, but if the framing crew doesn't show up on Monday, the house doesn't exist. We don't just have a housing shortage, we have a skilled labor deficit. And until we fix our workforce pipeline, a 100-page bill out of DC is just an expensive wish list. Washington didn't solve a housing shortage. Washington admitted it can't solve a housing shortage. It handed local governments a blueprint, stepped back and said, your move. The question now isn't whether we know how to build more homes. The question is whether we have the actual workers to build it and whether local governments are willing to get out of the way. The real fight for housing isn't happening in Washington, D.C. It's happening at your local trade programs and right down the street at your next city council meeting. Drop a comment below. How do we get more people back in the trades? How do we solve the real bottleneck here in Idaho? How do you solve your bottleneck where you live? I'm out.